Mr. Chairman, we have Don Williams with BK&D. They did our audit for the past year, and so I thought it would be a good idea if you heard from him and were able to answer his questions. He presented the audit report to our board at the last board meeting. So it's kind of an independent, it's not a tradition, but a customary for the auditor to report out to the shareholder. And so they reported out to the board members at the last meeting, and so now he will report out to you. It's a chance for you to ask any questions. That audit report, I think, Doug, you have a complete copy of the audit report and documents. Okay. Don, there you are. So I'm going to, if you'll, please, give him a chance to kind of give his 5 minute. I know you're short on time, but there's a significant amount of work in this. It's a good report. I think it's worth your time.
Thank you, David. Yeah, my name is Don Williams, partner with BKD. Appreciate the opportunity to meet with you and here to answer any questions we can. I'm going to give you a real high-level overview of the audit. I kind of live by the best audit report. It's a short audit report in general. But just to let you know kind of what we do and what the general results of that were, we do a combined audit for Cherokee Nation businesses, but that actually entails the completion of 6 other independent separate audits. We issue separate audits for Will Rogers Downs, which is required by the Oklahoma Horse Racing Commission. We do a separate audit for Cherokee Nation Entertainment, which is essentially the casino operation, which is required by the National Indian Gaming Commission. We do a separate audit for Cherokee Nation Industries, which is required by the Small Business Administration. Same for Cherokee Services Group, LLC. It's a separate audit as required by the SBA. And then there's 2 investments that are owned by CNB. One's called Cherokee CRC, LLC, and the other one's called Aerospace Products. And since those involve other non-Cherokee ownership, there are separate audits conducted of those entities. So each of those are a separate engagement. There's a separate report issued, a separate management letter issued, and all of those have been made available to Doug here earlier today. I would report that we do get good support from your people at CNB and the related entities. And we also get good support from the internal audit functions. Cherokee Nation has one of the largest internal audit functions probably in the state of Oklahoma, particularly when you look at the combined activities of Cherokee Nation businesses and the activities of the Cherokee Nation Gaming Commission. I think between those 2 groups, there's probably 30 or 40 independent internal auditors that work on the various entities, the Gaming Commission focusing primarily on the gaming activities. We coordinate our activities primarily through the audit committee of CNB. Dennis Dowell is the chairman of that committee, as well as the Gaming Commission. They're kind of a second audit committee, so every year as we go through the audit process, we meet with them before the audit begins to get their input into that process, and then we meet with them at the end of the audit to go through our draft reports. And that's done with both the CNB Audit Committee and the Cherokee Nation Gaming Commission. We issue an opinion on each set of financial statements, and all of our opinions are considered unqualified or clean opinions, so we had no matters to report in those reports. They were clean reports. We also, in addition to those audits I mentioned, do procedures on what's called minimum internal control standards. Those are standards created by the National Indian Gaming Commission overall to the gaming activity, and we issued a report on those minimum internal control standards, and there were no findings to report as a result of that work. And then we do a separate audit for the state of Oklahoma relative to the money that's given to them under the compact to give them comfort that they've been receiving the correct funding, and there were no exceptions, and there was a clean opinion on that report as well. There were no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies in internal control, so the house was pretty clean. It continues to get better each year. A couple of just general observations. This was the first year that we had this combined board, and I think we did see some value in that. I think the communications both at the corporate level as well as the government level improved. I think we always found kind of historically as the auditors, we were trying to help communicate between those organizations when they had separate boards, so that improved over the year. The C&I audit process, more so than That had been a challenge in the past, but that was significantly improved during the year. We got through that audit in a lot less time and effort this year. Overall, financially, it was a pretty good year, and I say that in today's economy, I guess we say flat is up. So the earnings for C&E and C&B were similar to the prior year, and the dividend that was paid to the nation was, say, almost identical, very similar to the prior year, and I think given the current economy, that was considered to be a fairly favorable result. So if there are any, we're not going through the reports. Again, Doug has those, and I'm sure he'll be able to do his review and report back to the council once he's done that, but is there any questions?